welcome to the Section 325 podcast.
The second half.
Well, here we are.
We're losers. Both of our teams lost.
Losers. Hey, I had a great first 3 weeks in the next 11 days. 3 losses in 11 days. I have no idea the Seahawks' identity, but who we're going to be, where we're going. But if I'm telling you right now, we have no defense. It's pathetic. And it's frustrating to first watch a team like the Giants go down and score when they couldn't even do it on the Bengals, who did have the worst defense in the league, and they shut them down. And it was just crazy to watch. Like, I'm watching the Detroit Lions. They still put up 47 points on Dallas. They scored more than Dallas, so okay, well, but I saw Jared Goff missing throws. He was perfect against the Seahawks. And then I watched Daniel Jones have his best game of his whole career against the Seahawks, and then he looks like garbage against the worst defense in the league.
I know. Again, I kind of look the same way. This same defense, the same team, shows up to play against Tampa Bay. In Tampa Bay, they only allow Tampa Bay to score 7 points. And then Tampa Bay scores 51 points over the weekend.
Yeah.
You know, it's just one of those things. You just don't know who's going to show up and win. And for Denver, they didn't get their stuff together until they didn't start scoring until the fourth quarter. And actually, when you look at the fourth quarter team, I thought there was a little chance that, like, oh my gosh, are they going to pull this off? It almost reminded me of Tim Tebow days in Denver, you know. It was
down the whole game.
It was boring the first 55 minutes of the game, but that last 5 minutes was exciting, and it happened. But
the Seahawks were a lot like that. That was Pete Carroll's whole thing. You'd always say, do you win the game in the first quarter? Do you win the game in the second quarter? Do you win the game? And you get down, you win the game in the fourth quarter, right? And we did a lot of that with Russell Wilson.
And for the Denver Broncos, like right now, I think Sean Payton is just simplifying the playbook. He's probably bringing his old playbook from the past, and it's just not working right now. And then they're making these adjustments at halftime or in the middle of the game. And in the fourth quarter, we finally come alive as a group offensively. And, we finally, but it was a little bit too late for us to make anything happen. Again, I would say the defense was hung in there. I know I gave my statement last week about Vance Joseph. My apologies to him, but you still can't let a divisional team score 50 or 20 some points on you. So, but it's tough to lose a divisional game because you always need those at the end of the season. But we'll see moving forward. We're both Seahawks and Denver's both 3-3.
Both 3-3.
Yeah. I was honestly, I didn't think that we would be 3-3 at this point. With a rookie quarterback, I thought we would probably have 2 wins, maybe.
Yeah, we're right where I thought we would be. But when you start the season 3-0, then all of a sudden you think, oh, are we better? Did this guy really just turn our defense around? No, the answer is no. But I was looking at the game last night. The Bills and the Jets. The Jets had a chance to take the lead, missed a field goal, had another chance to take the lead, missed another field goal. And I'm thinking, okay, the Jets have got to come away with this, and both teams are going to be 3-3 at the top of the division, just like San Francisco and the Seahawks are 3-3 at the top of the West. Now, the only division that's really is tough is the NFC North division.
So I saw something yesterday. Woo! The top 4 teams with the most point spread differential is the Vikings, Lions, Packers, and Bears.
Mm-hmm.
Top 4 teams.
4-2, as in the basement, with the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
And everybody else 5-1? No, it's 5-0 and
5-0 Vikings, 5-1 Lions, 4-2 Packers and Bears.
Unbelievable. That is a great division right now. It's
last year it was the AFC North for the season.
Yeah.
And now it's
the Bengals and the Browns are like,
they play against each other.
Steelers and Ravens, though, always a staple. Did you hear Russell Wilson maybe getting the nod as starting quarterback? Russell Wilson. Yeah, let Russ cook.
Let's ride.
Yeah, let's ride. Anyway, the NFL is amazing. I enjoyed watching football on Sunday. Sorry to come over. I was it was really cool because I woke up at my fiance's house, or little guy. He's watching football with me. I made breakfast. And we watched football all day long. And she was doing stuff. It was so funny. It was cute because it was time for him to go to bed.
No.
And then all of a sudden he's like, "But mom, I want to watch the game." So now all of a sudden he had an interest in the game. He's like, "Who's the orange team, Sean? Who's the blue team?" And
Oh, that's
I
funny.
said, "Oh, I think the blue team's going to win because I had picked the Giants to win that
Yeah.
game." And he's like, "Oh, I want the orange team. Orange is my second favorite color." So,
Yeah.
and then before he went to bed, it just looked like the Bengals were going to win. It wasn't over, but he had to go to bed. He's like,
Yeah.
"Who won?" And I said, "Oh, your team won, the Bengals." And they did. They ended up prevailing. And but
Yeah, my little guy, he's I mean he's 2, so he's not quite into it because he's 3, right? Almost
yeah,
3.
you'll be 4 next
Yeah,
month.
4, yeah. So, but he's kind of getting into it. He knows when to scream for a touchdown because we get all excited and he throws his hands up and he's
Yeah.
like touchdown, and it's pretty cute. We're starting to kind of get him into little chants too. Our friends are Packer fans. They have a same 2-year-old son as well, and they'll say "Go Pack Goes," and he cheers it back. Their son does, and then so Liam,
That's almost like abuse.
yeah,
Child abuse teaching him that kind of garbage.
But and then so I'm teaching my son when in Denver when they play in Denver and there's an incomplete pass from the opposing team. The crowd says incomplete, so Liam is starting to do the
Oh, I
incomplete.
like that.
So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I just have taught Ezzy the C, and he goes Hawks. So that's fun. That's
Good.
super fun.
That's
We were at
awesome.
the game, his first game last year, and he knew it, but only him and I had ever done it. And
Mhm.
we always do it 3 times: "See Hawk, see Hawk," and then I always go, "Let's go," and then he goes, "Let's go." He goes like that, right? So we're at the game, and usually at Touchdown City, the gates are open at 11. We get to go in. The gates are up, but they're not letting anybody in the stadium yet.
Mm-hmm.
You're just still in Touchdown City, even though you've presented your ticket. So I'm thinking, oh, it's going to be any time now, and now it's 11:30. A half hour's passed by before they opened it, but he was getting cranky. He was
Yeah, I
tired.
think you told me this, but yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah. So he's there, and I'm like, oh man, he's getting antsy here. We got to do something. So I'm like, all right, buddy. And I don't normally do this. So I'm like, are you ready? And he's like, okay. He didn't know what was coming, but I'm like, see, and the whole crowd, Hawks, see, Hawks. The whole crowd around us. He was like, and then that did it. He
That's
was hooked the
awesome.
rest of the day,
That's
and
awesome.
it was a great time. So then the next game that he went to, I proposed to his mother. So
Nice.
here we are.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Boise State. You could when you go down to Boise, you could just do that chant, and anyone who's anybody will
Jump in and do it.
jump in and do it. So cool.
Yeah. So all right. Well, let's get into it. We're
Yeah.
both. We don't want to talk about our losing week. Let's move on to the next one. Weekly statement for week 6. Mine is, you get what you wish for, right? You get what you wish for. We're going back to the Jets, and it's a twofold thing here. You want your coach fired, you're still losing, right?
Yeah.
But here they got Devontae Adams in a trade today. He's pairing up with his old quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, and this is the other thing I was going to point out a second ago is they could have been 3-3 at the top of that division.
Mm-hmm.
That could have been huge, but I still think the Jets are a good team. They're just off a little bit, which is like,
I'm still blown away that they fired their coach so early with just only a game away from being 500. Like it just doesn't make sense to me. And then yeah, they want to spark up the team to try to see if that would turn something around.
well, when you have a
And
defensive,
they took the play calling away from Hackett. So
it's so bizarre
it's like
because
starting all over again.
if you had a defensive head coach and your defense is actually performing, are you going to fire when you're struggling on offense? You'd fire the offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
I don't know. Nothing makes sense. And even during the Monday night cast, when they had Belichick on there, he's like, "Oh, that's that owner for you. He hasn't done anything in 10 years or whatever he said."
Yeah, no, but it's kind of funny. I know the Devonte Adams thing was kind of in the making for a few weeks now, and I think they finally came together. And I think everyone knew on the Jets knew it was going to happen because he shows up with Aaron Rodgers on the Pat McAfee show. That's when it happened. Kind of surprise guest there, but which I thought was kind of funny. Like, oh, he's already in New York.
Yeah, well, Aaron and Devontae are the same person, right?
Yeah,
They're these bad attitude. If we're winning, everything's good. If not, look at last night in his interview.
yeah,
Rodgers threw the receiver under the bus. Now they're talking about trading him.
yep.
Johnson,
Mike Williams.
Mike Williams,
Yep.
and he's like, "Oh yeah, he was supposed to do this, and he ran this." And I've never heard these words before. But did you hear the words he was using, like the red line and he threw it to the red line and he ran a something else. I don't remember. It was I was like, what? What is he talking about?
Is he talking about hockey? Blue line,
Right,
red line?
blue line, red line. I don't know, but it was super weird. And basically, the receiver was supposed to do something. And he said at the last minute he looked off corner's eye because he was doing a no look, but he did peek, and then he had to adjust his throw, and it wasn't enough. That's why he got picked off. So I'm like, dude, you're supposed to protect your players. Just go, hey, we weren't on the same page on that, right? Yeah. Move on. We're going to get better. Say all the right things. Don't throw your teammates under the bus. But all right, that's my statement. You get, okay.
Yeah. My statement is Eagles, I know you won, but you won barely off of the Browns. And you're the only reason why I did not win my 7-leg parlay.
Oh. And then the coach is over yelling at people in the stands. Yeah,
apparently their own fans were there, and that's what he was yelling at. They're probably saying the same thing, like you could do better against the Browns.
So they beat them by 3 points.
4 points.
4 points.
And I needed them to beat them by 8 points.
Oh, yeah. And they should have.
They should have, exactly. If it wasn't for the punt field goal or the block field goal touchdown that the Browns got at the second half, the end of the first half. Sorry, that could have been the game, the difference, and maybe I could have won.
What are the Browns going to do? What do you do? Your defense was so good last year,
and they just gave away Cooper over to the
That's what I mean. They're throwing in the towels.
Yeah. So that was another trade this morning.
Another trade, yeah. Cooper's over to
Bills.
The Bills.
Which that helps the Bills because they are kind of low on receivers. Josh Allen usually has 200, 300 yards passing. And he hasn't even gone close to 300. Only gone over 200 a couple times, like last night. But yeah, he needs some help with the receiving core.
Yeah, they didn't. It was kind of
so that will help him.
It was a weird game to watch last night.
Yeah.
All right, so here we are. I don't even know how I did. I don't even know.
Okay, we'll just go through them quickly.
Cowboys and the Lions. I went with the Cowboys. I really thought they'd step up at home because I think they beat the Lions last year at home, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So I missed that one. You picked the Steelers.
Cowboys 0-3 at home now this season. So I think I'm just gonna.
Happy birthday, Jerry Jones! You got spanked
on your birthday.
On your birthday. You picked the Steelers over the Raiders. Good pick.
Yep.
I took your Broncos.
Yeah. At home divisional game against the Chargers. We've had them the last few years. So, but Harbaugh, he is turning things around there in LA. But also, they were coming off of a bye, so I think they were a little bit more rested. They had more film on us since it was so early.
Well, Harbaugh was so rested, his heart got out of his rhythm.
Yep.
So 2 losses to start and 2 to go for you. Right there, that takes you over me, right? I only had a couple game lead on you.
I think 2 games on me.
So luckily, I took the Bills over the Jets. That gives me a win. Do you take the Commanders?
I did.
Oh, man. The Ravens got that.
That's kind of like my oddball upset.
It was a close game.
Yeah.
Close
game. That was actually one of my legs. I took the over score on that game. They had to score 51 points.
And I believe I took the Packers. Just wanted to see more out of the Cardinals. I think we saw what we needed to see. And then you took the Bucks. Great pick. 51 points.
Yeah.
Wow. Texans over the Patriots. That was easy. I think you probably took the Bears. So you got me by 1 on that one.
Yeah, so I'm creeping up.
3-2, 4-1. Good week. I'm still 1 game ahead of you. Let's get there. Both circled off green now. No more red loser. Okay, well, hey, we got a battle.
We
It's going to
do.
be a battle.
I had to catch up. That first 2 weeks were pretty bad for me.
Let me go back. So, yeah, 18 and 12, 17 and 13. But hey, we both have a nice winning record. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. I'll take it. Okay, Wolf's Power Ranks. I mean, gosh, this has got to be getting tough every week.
This week was pretty easy because only two in the top 10 lost. Two had buys. Vikings and Chiefs had buys. And only one team really out of the two teams that lost dropped out. So it was pretty easy. It was kind of like just bump
I
everyone
think I know
up.
what team dropped out.
Yep. Because, yeah, Seahawks were 10 last week. So, yeah, they drop out. Packers come in.
They deserve to be out.
Yeah.
Packers
Packers are back
move
in. I had them earlier in the year, I think.
Commanders, they still deserve to be in there.
Yep.
4-2 now.
Yeah, 4-2.
They come down. The Ravens, they hold steady. Were they 8 last year?
They were
week?
9 last week, so they
Okay.
pop up. Yeah,
They did go up. They looked good. I mean, Commanders were red hot going in that game.
yeah. Falcons, they had a good win against the Panthers. Not good enough for me to move them up, so they just stay where they're at. Bucks, I moved them up above the Falcons because 51 points. Kind of like the same thing I did with the Saints earlier this year. You know, if you're scoring 51 points, yeah, let's talk about it.
Well, the Saints, they look good for a minute with Rattler, their new backup.
Yeah, I mean, second quarter they scored all their 27 points, and I thought this was going to be all of a sudden a game, and then no. So I hope they play like that Thursday because that's
Well, this
when,
Rattler's going to get a few more tries. Will this be the end of Carr?
I don't. Well, he'll come back, right?
Well, yeah, 4 weeks.
But,
He comes back. What if Rattler's playing really good?
well, we'll find out Thursday. They play Denver.
Ooh,
Sean Payton's homecoming game.
that's going to be fun.
Yeah,
The Bills,
they go up 1.
I thought it was a nice victory. Everybody
Yeah.
plays ugly against the Jets. They have a good defense.
Mhm.
Texans, wow, they look good. Lions looked. Their defense looked good.
It was fun.
Their defense
I
looked
know. Aiden Hutchinson. Sorry that he's gone for the year. Broken tib fib. Nasty break. But it's just the next guy up to play, and I think they'll be still okay with that. And, you know, when you start pulling your offensive line to do some trick plays against the Cowboys, it's just fun to watch.
It's great. I love watching the Cowboys lose. And you know, it was unfortunate for Hutchinson. That was definitely a Rice Krispie right there, dude. Snap, crackle, pop.
Yeah.
Bad break. It just snapped on his own player's kneecap.
Yeah.
Oh, guy's got a thick knee. And the Chiefs.
The Chiefs and Vikings, they had buys, so they just stay where they're at.
Yeah, why not? They're Vikings.
But they both have great games coming up. Vikings play the Lions.
Vikings and the Lions, and the Chiefs are the Niners.
Yeah.
So,
and I think they are home with the Lions, so that will be a good game for them. And then, yeah, Chiefs with the Niners.
Lions looked. That game was, man.
Yeah.
Did the Cowboys throw it in? They're not. What is happening?
I don't know. I mean, that's like, I don't know what the third loss they lost to at home, but I know the Saints went in there and put up a big number on them.
Well, remember, they had a good defense last year, won a playoff game, I believe. I think they got one playoff win. And then their next playoff game got throttled. All those points got put on them, and now it's continuing into this season with Zimmer as their defensive coordinator. And I saw Richard Sherman on his podcast. He said, I thought that Zimmer was a bad hire for that defense.
Oh, really? Okay.
These guys aren't playing well in it. They don't react well with it. So, I don't know.
Yeah. It kind of shows, too, sometimes.
Anyway, so that's our power ranks. Let's see what you guys got.
Yeah, see what your top 10 are. Let us know if you think I'm spot on or think I'm off. If you think the Steelers deserve to be in the top 10, let us know.
Let us know.
Let us know.
All right. Well, let's go to the lush bag.
The lush bag from.
Did you show your wife that I announced what her bag is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, "What? Really?" It's just a free advertisement. Oh, look,
random picks from the Seahawks
first game
from the lush bag.
All right, Seahawks go to Atlanta.
Big game
That is a
Sunday.
big game.
Early game for the Hawks. 10 a.m. kickoff.
I mean, Cousins is looking good. I mean, I don't know. He might be their starting quarterback for the next few years. I mean, I don't know when Penix is going to play, but I think this is more of a statement for the Seahawks to come in and win. Man, I mean, I have the Seahawks in the playoffs. I have the Falcons winning the division. I'm going to have to go with the home team, Falcons. I think they just have more group collected team as far as a whole. They know what they're doing offense and defensively. So I'm going to go with Atlanta.
Yeah, they're playing better football right now. So good pick.
Yep.
Okay, let's see who we got here. Oh, the Chargers, who just beat your Broncos, going into Arizona to take on Murray and the Cardinals. Well, Arizona can just
They could surprise you.
they could just surprise teams,
Yeah.
and Chargers seem like a team that could be surprised. But I want to think Harbaugh's got that number one defense in the league turned around, the Chargers. And Arizona really struggled against Green Bay's defense. So I'm going to go with the Chargers in this one on the road to beat the Arizona Cardinals.
No, I think that's a good one. I probably got the game of the week.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Lions going into Minnesota. Yeah, again, who's going to lose first, Vikings or Chiefs? And they could lose this weekend.
Both teams, yeah.
So with that said, I am going to go with the Lions.
Wow, good pick. I like the Lions too. I think the Vikings are due for a loss.
They're due for a lot. I mean, they're coming off their bye, so it's going to be a tough win for the Lions. But I think they can get it done.
Dude, do you think this is the first time we've pulled the Lions out and go, this is the game of the week with the Lions playing? Crazy.
I know.
All those years of just losing.
Well, they played the Cowboys last week, so that's always America's game of the week. Cowboys is always the game of the week, it seems like.
Yeah, who cares about them anymore? Here we go. The Jets, Jets going into the Steel City. Take on, is it going to be Russell Wilson's Steelers, or is it going to be this other guy who can barely put 100 yards passing on the... That's the thing. I just don't know.
Because they haven't named him yet a starter, right? He's just practicing with reps, and it's going to be like a game time decision.
Well, I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know. I assume Russell was not going to play at all. They're just going to,
Okay, take out minus the quarterback. Who's going to win? Doesn't matter if it's Fields or
I think the Jets' offense has been struggling, and this isn't a place or a defense that you're going to get right against. So I'm going to take the Steelers at home in this one.
Yeah. I got Titans and Bills. Titans is kind of one of those surprising teams. I mean, they're not good on paper.
And I was listening to NFL Network. They're like, bench Will Levis. Get rid of him. That should be done.
But yeah, is he going to be doing what Will Levis does? But no, I think the Bills will be able to win at home. Yeah, Josh Allen was looking comfortable on Monday night. Now that he's going to get another receiver, that might help him a lot more. So, yeah, I'll go with Bills.
Yeah, that's probably pretty easy. Pretty easy pick there. All right, the Red Hot Texans going into the Red Hot Packers. What a game. That's a good game, too. Whew. That is not an easy pick. I would say these guys are pretty even across the board. Good young quarterbacks, good defense, good wide receivers. I'm going to take the Packers at home just because when it's that tight, I always take the home team.
Yep.
The Raiders They ate
and the
us.
Rams, the old LA teams.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to go with the Rams. I saw an interview with Matt Stafford the other day. I don't know if it was a recent one this week or a few weeks ago, but they were talking about how far he could throw the football. And he said back when he was 17, he could throw the ball 78 yards. And that was like at a Manning quarterback camp or something.
78?
At 17. And he said that's when he was like in his prime with his arm throwing. So he says he's more in the 60s now, but still,
How you lose that much when you're throwing every day?
yeah. So I'm sure hits that he takes all the time. He's a tough quarterback at times. So anyway, Raiders they dropped an L against the Steelers over the weekend, and they just kind of look like the same old Raiders.
Devontae's gone.
And Devontae's
There's
gone,
no
so
identity.
yeah. So there's
Max Crosby's angry, pushing assistant coaches.
yeah. So
It's
Rams,
imploding. It's imploding.
Rams.
Rams. All right. Oh, the Ravens coming off a nice victory over the Commanders, cooling them off. Going into the red hot Buccaneers. Wow, what a game. Probably the two worst uniforms in the league, both these teams, Ravens and Buccaneers. For me anyway. But I'm gonna take. Boy, this is tough. Because did Denver go into Tampa and beat
Yeah,
them? They
yeah.
did. I'm gonna take the Ravens in this one. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Ravens.
All right, I got the London game. Don't worry about waking up early to watch this game. Patriots, Jaguars. Um, I'm gonna pick Jaguars
It's the
because
toilet bowl.
it's a toilet bowl in London. I'm sorry, English.
Yeah. Have
This
some
is the
tea and
game you get.
crumpets.
This is the game you get. No, I'm gonna go with Jaguars because they're there already in London, so they're rested, and yeah, that's all I have.
Well, they're down a defensive lineman as well. Seattle made a trade to get a defensive lineman
Yeah.
yesterday from them. I don't remember his name. Don't ask me right now.
Uh-huh.
But he is a good player, so hopefully he can help our D. So you're taking who? The Jags?
The Jags.
Oh, wow. Even with
Yeah,
May starting.
yeah. Well, May started last week and didn't look good.
Yeah, but, it's a second
Yeah,
game,
that's
maybe.
it. I'm going to Jags.
Yeah, Jags. They are the home team. That's their thing. Oh, I always get your
You
Broncos.
always do.
And this last week I picked them and they let me down, and now we're gonna have two rookie quarterbacks going at each other. I like the Saints at home in this one.
Kona, what do you think?
Yeah, Kona's giving us the A-OK. He's got the dog toy. Did you hear it?
Yeah. All right. Kona, what do you think? Saints or Broncos?
Who do you got, Kona? Squeeze once. Oh, squeeze once for the Saints and twice for the Broncos.
Okay. So you got Saints?
I would take Saints.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would have picked the Broncos, but that's just me.
I picked them last week. They let me down.
Sweet.
Anyway, that's my picks. I liked your games better, except for the last two games.
Yeah, those are toilet bowls. But we do have 10 games here. We actually have the London game, the Thursday night game, both Monday night games, and the Sunday night game.
Right on.
So we have all those primetime games for you to take a look at and watch. Get your picks in before the Thursday night game. And again, if you play along, you get the most picks, we'll give you a gift card. McDonald's for right now.
Yeah, McDonald's is everywhere. So, who is your what's a team in your mind that the league needs to kind of watch out for? This might be a team that's going to disrupt, cause some trouble, get into the playoffs that maybe nobody really believed in.
Like, as far as, yeah.
Who's the surprising team that you say you better watch out for this year?
Well, I mean, even during preseason, they're hyping up the Chargers. Again, they had a slow start. They were 2-2 before their bye. They had a decent win against the Broncos, divisional game. Can they still carry that on? So I have not yet seen it, but I can see from what I've been hearing that could be the team. that will sneak up on you. Besides your typical divisional game or divisional leaders, I mean, look at the Bears too. I mean, even though they're sitting at the bottom of their division at 4-2, they can. All four of those teams could make the playoffs with the way the playoff system is now with 7 teams. They can just all make the wild card.
Crazy.
And yeah, who knows?
Bears
So
are a really good pick. Chargers are a good pick. I I think a lot of people would say the Steelers. For me,
I was
no, because
thinking,
I assumed, hey, I think these guys are going to win the division. Russell Wilson's
yeah,
going to lead them. Now, I hope to see Russell out there. We'll see what happens. But the Vikings, to me, are still that team
yeah.
that's just like,
Again, I
how are
see
they
them winning the
there?
division right now, the way they're playing. But we're not at the midway point yet, and who's going to perform the best at the end of the season?
And you pick the Lions to go in there and beat them. So this
Yeah,
could be their first loss of the year. But
yeah.
if they win that game, do we have to start saying they're the best team in the league right now?
I mean, yeah,
They beat the Lions. They're the best team in the league. You better
yeah,
watch out. Because, well, if you're a good team, you should beat good teams at your
hmm
house anyway. But yeah, I mean, that's a surprising team for me.
yeah,
I didn't see that coming. I think the Falcons, I didn't really think were going to be that great, and I think they're doing okay. I think they don't scare me like the Vikings do. The Vikings defense is for real.
yeah,
So that's what's really helping them. And then you got Darnold just playing out of his mind, or maybe that's who he always was, and he's just in the right system now.
yeah,
Which is, I mean, I hope teams are looking at this, right? Because
yeah.
they
I'm sure
waste
they
these
are.
high draft picks on these quarterbacks that all of a sudden they're gone out of the league. They're holding a clipboard. They're playing backup. They've been tossed around from team to team, whatever it is.
Yep.
And could they have been good? I mean, look at Geno. Take Geno, for instance. He went through all that. He gets to Seattle, and he's
Well,
leading the league in passing
well,
yards.
yeah, and even look at Sam Darnold with the Vikings right now. He's getting passed around, and Andy Dalton. I'm sure he did great and with the Bengals, but he had a second chance again, or third, fourth
Second
chance
chance. Well,
with the Panthers.
look what the Lions did.
And
They went out and got Jared Goff and got rid
well,
of Stafford.
and the Rams, they just flip flop quarterbacks. They just were better in their
Stafford went and got a Super Bowl,
yeah.
and then now
Goff went to a
Goff.
Super Bowl with when he was with the Rams before, but he could get a Super Bowl with the Lions now.
So the Raiders need to go get one of these guys that nobody wanted. Nobody wanted. He's no good, and build the offense around what he's good at, what
Mm-hmm.
he was good at in college, what he's good at now. And I don't know. I can't think of any names off the top of my head, but um, I'm sure there's some quarterbacks out there that can still play.
Oh yeah, I mean Flacco. Get yourself a Flacco.
He was retired, dude. I don't know.
I don't. It's kind of funny, like because Denver had Flacco for a year,
He came in and played. He did not
and
play well.
he did okay, and then I think he got injured in one game. Like he got a concussion, and then I think that's when we got was Bridgewater with us at that
Yeah,
point.
Bridgewater.
Yeah,
That guy's retired.
Or Drew Lock could have easily stepped up, and because Drew Lock wasn't really named a starter at the beginning of any season, he was a backup, and he came in later in the season to start.
And where is Drew Lock? Is he
I saw him. Is he with Bills?
the Giants? He's with the Giants.
Giants. Okay, I knew it
Yeah,
was
he's
somewhere
backing up.
east.
He's backing up Daniels.
Yeah.
Daniels is
Did you know I saw that Daniel Jones has not yet thrown a touchdown pass at MetLife Stadium in 2 years?
golly, that's bad.
That's horrible to think about. You pay him $40 million a year, and he can't throw you a touchdown pass in your home stadium.
Gosh, that is absolutely nuts. I did not know that.
Well, he was injured half the season last year, so that
Yeah, that's true.
but still, you're 3 games in your MetLife Stadium this year, and You still can't do it.
when I think of Daniel Jones, I always think of that one play where he is just gone. He's cooked everybody down the field, and then
the turf monster.
Yeah, he just fell down. Oh man, it's like a 3-year-old. Like Ezzy does that. He'll be running, all of a sudden,
oh yeah,
falls
Liam
down.
does it all the time.
What'd you fall down for? You were just moving. But all right, anything?
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. That's our show for today, everybody.
Yeah.
Section 325 podcast. We're out of here.
Second half.